Beyoncé did what she always does. She dropped a campaign. It was fierce. It was glossy. It was unapologetically Beyoncé. The setting, denim, cowboys, Marilyn Monroe, but make it Southern glam. The campaign was called the Denim Cowboy, created in partnership with Levi's, a modern mashup of American history, fashion, and cultural energy. But this time, not everyone was clapping. Enter Piers Morgan. And suddenly, the applause turned into accusations. Piers Morgan didn't just criticize Beyoncé, he called her out. In his words, this wasn't style. This was cultural appropriation. Specifically, he claims that Beyoncé is stealing the image of Marilyn Monroe, the Hollywood icon who represented a very specific type of American femininity. The blonde curls, the flirtatious glances, the pin-up poses. Piers says it all feels too familiar, too borrowed, and not in a way that honors Marilyn, but in a way that repackages her for Beyoncé's brand. And here's the twist. He's not the only one saying it. Online, voices are splitting fast. Some critics are asking, at what point does tribute become exploitation? They say Beyoncé, a global superstar, is dipping into cultural imagery that isn't hers, and using it without acknowledgement. No nod to Monroe, no caption, no homage, just denim, curves, and camera flashes. And while Beyoncé's fans, the Beehive, are quick to defend her, others are accusing her of being tone-deaf, using Monroe's legacy like a trend, rather than a legacy built on tragedy, beauty, and myth. And this is where things get complicated. Because it's not just about fashion. It's about ownership. Who gets to embody certain archetypes? Who gets to step into a legacy, and who doesn't? Piers Morgan believes Marilyn Monroe's image is sacred. That her status as an American icon shouldn't be tampered with, especially not by someone who, in his words, doesn't understand her legacy. But others say that's exactly the problem. They argue, Marilyn Monroe's beauty was praised because it fit a certain mold: white, blonde, tragic, desirable. But what if Beyoncé is reimagining that? What if she's saying, you don't have to be white or blonde to be iconic? What if this is her way of reclaiming the image that black women were never allowed to represent? For years, black women were told their beauty was too much, too loud, too different. Marilyn was allowed to be soft, vulnerable, glamorous. Black women were told to be strong, silent, and grateful. So when Beyoncé steps into that Monroe energy, maybe it's not theft. Maybe it's a challenge to everything we've been told about who gets to be America's sweetheart. And as always, Beyoncé says, nothing. She hasn't addressed the accusations. No interviews, no tweets, no press statements, just silence. But for those who know Beyoncé's playbook, that silence is the move. She doesn't explain art. She lets it breathe. And by doing nothing, she makes the noise around her even louder. It leaves people wondering, debating, talking, and maybe that's exactly the point. While the debate rages on, fans and critics are taking sides. Some say, Beyoncé is always pushing boundaries. Let her be iconic in her own way. Others say, she could have made a powerful statement without stepping into Marilyn's shadow. But the most interesting comments, they come from people asking one simple question. Would this conversation even exist if she wasn't a black woman? Because when white artists reference black icons, it's often called inspiration. But when a black artist references a white icon, it suddenly becomes appropriation. Think about that. This isn't just about a denim campaign. It's about image, power, and perception. Beyoncé isn't copying Marilyn. She's confronting her. She's standing in the space Monroe once filled, and asking the world to see something new. And whether Piers Morgan likes it or not, the conversation is happening. Because Beyoncé's not just wearing denim. She's wearing a statement. What do you think? Is this Beyoncé rewriting the narrative, or is Piers Morgan raising a valid point about cultural lines? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think. And make sure you subscribe to Gossip Galaxy, because when Beyoncé finally responds, or claps back the way only she can, it's going to be legendary. And trust me, you'll want to be right here when it happens.